Hey guys, I hope you're having a beautiful day. Today's Warrior Talk is going to be about electromagnetic frequencies. So, if you're not aware, electromagnetic frequencies or EMFs are pretty much everywhere, especially if you live in a big city. Electromagnetic frequencies can come from electricity, they can come from cell phone radiation, and cell phones, satellite towers, electrical meters. There's a lot of places. But first, what are some of the symptoms of electromagnetic frequency toxicity? So EMFs are a very, very intense toxin. There's a lot of leading edge scientists that have been studying EMFs for many years, and what they say is that even at 3G, not 5G where we're at now, but 3G, they should be likened to class 1 carcinogens with cigarette smoking and asbestos. Those are very, very serious claims. There's a lot of issues with EMFs not being regulated. There's no really governing body that regulates them. The governing body that oversees cell phone usage and EMFs is the same governing body that sits on the boards for the cell phone companies. So they don't really care about you. They don't care about what it does to biological exposure. That's the best case scenario. Worst case scenario, they want you sick. I'm not sure if it's evil or just negligence and ignorance, but regardless, the effects are the effects. So what are some of the effects? Well, just like most toxicity, it has very similar effects. One, anxiety, insomnia, cancer, all types of like DNA alterations, essentially, just from being zapped by all those frequencies constantly. So basically, like, you could have any symptoms depending on what your weaknesses are. Like, I've had friends whose pets have died from EMF exposure because something in their house was wired wrong. I've had clients who couldn't sleep. Basically their whole adult life, their children couldn't sleep. And then when they turned off the Wi-Fi and the router at night, everybody was able to sleep for the first time ever in their lives. So very, 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 very powerful stuff. But the problem is you don't see it, right? Like, you don't see the toxicity. You don't see the toxin because it's essentially invisible to the naked eye. So we write it off as it is what it is, right? So there's an issue there. It's not, it is what it is, because people are starting to see harmful effects. All right, so here's some of the places that you can look for it and you can negate it or get rid of it. In the house, let's talk about in the house. In the house, you have the bedroom, which is really the most important place. That's where you rest, that's where you recover. And most people have their cell phone in their room. They sleep next to an electrical outlet. Hopefully it's wired right, but still, electrical outlets put out EMFs. These things need to be negated and taken out of the room. So no iPods, no iPads, no smart TV, no TVs, period, in the bedroom. The bedroom is made for sex and sleep. That's it. Maybe a little bit of reading, but sex, sleep, maybe a little bit of reading. That's it. That's the only thing that the bedroom is made for. You need to develop that relationship with the bedroom. Next place, the kitchen. The kitchen has tons of EMFs. So if you're not using something, unplug it. It doesn't need to be plugged in if you're not using it. Those things are constantly pumping out electromagnetic frequencies. Where else? Your Wi-Fi. Your Wi-Fi is on. Wherever you keep your Wi-Fi, if you're not using it, turn it off. You don't need it on, so unplug it, turn it off. Very simple. Outside the house. So if you own your own house, you might have solar panels. Solar panels give off tons of electromagnetic frequencies. I've heard a lot of stories with people in California that have died from the EMFs from the solar panels and them not being installed properly. So water seeped in, and then there was mold and EMFs. So double whammy, death. Mold will kill you by itself. EMFs, can kill you by themselves. Together, it is a very, very serious cocktail of just death, essentially. All right, next, if you live in a building and your building has a cell phone tower, or they just put up a cell phone tower, if they had a cell phone tower, you will notice very serious effects. There's a lot of people that have cancers in those buildings where the buildings put up the cell phone towers. Very, 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 very dangerous. Next, AirPods. So those AirPods, those wireless AirPods that people wear, very dangerous. They give off tons of electromagnetic frequencies, and they're also so close to your brain, and it's shooting EMFs into your brain and other parts of your head from both sides. So get wired headphones. Get wired headphones. Stick with wired headphones. Okay. The car. The car is a crucial thing because when you're driving, you don't have connection with the same tower all the time. I believe it's anywhere from 1 to 3 miles. On average, it's 2 miles between towers. Check this out. Windows are closed. Car is looking for service, so it's sending out an even stronger signal. Your car is like a Faraday cage, so it doesn't let anything in and it doesn't let stuff out. So these signals are constantly bouncing all over your car. The car has a lot of other toxins too. Dust, dirt, all types of other stuff. So if you're on long drives, I suggest you download your music, you download your map, and you put it in airplane mode. Keep the phone in airplane mode, especially if you're starting to notice that you have sensitivities to EMFs. That's a big one. I used to get migraines all the time when I used to drive long distances. And when I started to put it in airplane mode and clean my car, really like wipe down my car so I'm not breathing in all that dirt and dust, I started to feel a lot better on longer drives. So that's something to pay attention to in your car. Here's another one. In your house, I forgot one. Smart meters. Smart meters are very dangerous. They install those smart meters in your house. You have to opt out and get a regular meter again if you can. That they are loaded with electromagnetic frequencies. Loaded. And how do I know all of this? Well, I walk around with my trusty EMF device that I bought off Amazon. It's like $100. You can get an even better one for like $300. And I walk around and I test where the highest EMFs are. Where the highest EMFs are areas that I would probably avoid in the house. And also, that's probably not where I would put my bed and where I'm sleeping. So something to think about. Electrical wires. Make sure your electricity is wired correctly in the house. Also, make sure you're not living next to outdoor electrical wires. That is huge. Huge, huge, huge. Those things have, there's a lot of like stuff that they found where plants would be growing underneath those electrical wires and they would be growing huge. And cancer cells would probably grow huge inside of us as well, living under those things. There's a lot of people in a lot of forums that talk about they believe they got cancer from living under those electrical wires. So these are all things to watch out for. These are all things to avoid. These are all things to be mindful of when you are either building your space, moving into a new space, staying somewhere. Yeah, those are huge because you want to enjoy your life. You want to enjoy how you feel. You want to feel great. And that's something that you're going to have to watch out for because it's a huge toxin. And just because it's invisible doesn't mean it's not harming you. You might write this off as woo-woo or whatever else you write it off as. Great. Write it off to your detriment because if you notice some stuff going on with your health, I would really suggest looking into your electromagnetic frequency exposure. You're probably on devices regularly. Another thing, when you are carrying your cell phone, women, men, everybody, put it in airplane mode. Put it in airplane mode. It stops giving off the EMFs. women don't put it in your breasts. They found scans of women with tumors growing in their breast the same shape as a cell phone. Men, obviously, a lot of fertility problems in men and women, but men, lower lower sperm count and lower testosterone levels because the testosterone is created here. Tight pants contribute to that, and also keeping your cell phone in your pocket right next to your sack. Dangerous stuff, dangerous stuff. Look, you can't avoid all of it. And that's what a lot of people are going to say. They're going to argue. They're going to be like, oh, like you can't avoid all of it. It's everywhere. Yeah, it is everywhere. It totally is everywhere. You can't avoid all of it, but you can avoid a lot of it. You can avoid a lot of it. Just because you can't avoid all of it doesn't mean you have to be helpless in your life and not do anything about it. This isn't for me. This video is for you. So if you want to feel better, I would really suggest cutting down your EMF exposure and taking all those steps that I mentioned in this video, like going back, taking notes, and implementing those things. Because those are the things that I do with clients that pay me lots of monies to help them with their wellness, their healing, and their performance. If your wellness isn't right, your performance is going to suck. You can't perform sustainably with a low level of wellness. And that's the thing with most high performers. Most high performers are functioning at like maybe 20 to 30%, maybe 50% of their potential. And it's these little things that contribute to their wellness that make a big deal in their longevity and their career, their performance, their emotional, psychological, physical, and spiritual state. Because they're all aligned. They're all the same. They're all in the same body or bodies. So take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. If you live in the city, get out of the city. If you can't get out of the city, get out of the city as much as possible so that you can be out in nature, so you can recharge, so you can heal, because the cities are unnatural environments. If you look at the way a city is built, right? Like look at the way a city is built, and then zoom out and look at all the population density in the city. And then look at a body, right? Like zoom out, look at the body, and look at cancer, what cancer looks like, and the cells in that density of population. Very similar. Cities and cancer are very similar. So cities are very cancerous. There's higher rates of anxiety, depression, cancer, and all types of other things in cities. They have dirtier water, dirtier air, dirtier people, and just a disconnect from where we came from nature, where we came from. So, all right, take all these steps. Let me know how it goes. Hit me up, send me a message. I'm going to start doing retreats again in the next couple of months. So if that's something that you're aligned with, there's a lot more in that toolkit to help you upgrade your wellness, your performance, and to heal. My systems are mostly in healing in the beginning, in the stage 1, is mostly healing your nervous system, getting rid of the toxins inside of your body and in your environment, and then healing old wounds, healing what I call meta wounds or traumas that constantly bleed on everybody around you. And you do it unconsciously. We do it unconsciously as humans. So until those wounds are healed and scarred up, we constantly attract those wounds to us. So that's essentially the majority of my level 1 work, which is getting your nervous system back in order, detoxing and healing traumas. And I have very, very unique systems that I created in the last 15 years in all of this healing stuff. I've spent close to $1 million on my education and my own healing because I was very sick for a long time myself. I'm not just like some guy that was blessed with great genetics and super vital health. I was not. I was born, I was supposed to die. I had a dysfunctional nervous system because my mother, when she was pregnant with me, was exposed to chemicals from an oil refinery from the city that I was from. They were dumping chemicals and they didn't tell anybody. And 600 people got sick and 125 people died. And I was one of the 600 people that got sick. And they thought I wasn't going to make it. So I've pretty much been sick my whole life up until the age of like 22, when I decided to, like, enough is enough. I'm not trusting my health to anybody else, especially in the allopathic field. And I started my healing journey. And now, 15 or so years later, I mean, I started my healing journey a little bit earlier than that, but like really intensely at about 21, 22, when I really broke. And now I've been on this journey for like around 15 years, 14, 15 years, and I'm in the best shape I've ever been in. My jiu-jitsu is the best it's ever been. I'm able to push myself harder than I've ever been able to push myself. I feel better than I've ever felt. And it's because of these systems that I'm sharing with you. And I'm giving you the game. So run with it. Run with it, run with it, run with it, run with it. Do it. And then hopefully when you start getting your results, you'll get more curious. And if you're aligned, and if I'm aligned to be your teacher, you'll come see me at one of these retreats or events or workshops that I do, and we'll go a lot deeper. A lot deeper. And I've worked with thousands of people already in the last 15 years, really. A little bit longer I've been coaching, but in different capacities. And I've seen some incredible results. I've met some incredibly gifted humans, and I've been blessed to be part of their journey to help them unlock more of their gifts and some latent potentials that they weren't even aware of. So I'm excited to help guide you as well. So hit me up, do this stuff, hit me up. I'll take down your information and we'll jump on a call. We'll see if you're aligned with one of the next retreats or events that I'm going to be doing. I think the next two are pretty booked up already, but the ones after that, either closer to the end of Q4 and then Q1 2023, we'll get started. All right, my friends, I love you. And with strength and courage, start your journey or keep going on your journey. Later.